Do you know about the Yahoo Boys? Yahoo. I want that emblazoned in your brains. Welcome, warrior. First of all, though, I want you to subscribe to our channel. We need all the subscriptions. We need all of the algorithms directed our way. We need you to join us because, after all, our hashtag at the Warriors is community creates change. And I want everybody to hear about information they are not hearing, most likely, on any kind of mainstream media and perhaps even a lot of other platforms. I want to get into this digital pandemic we have going on, and it's uncovering the role of the Yahoo Boys in the surge of social media enabled financial sextortion targeting minors. Did you hear what I said? You may have heard about sextortion, but you're not hearing about the Yahoo Boys. And I think since our own FBI put out about 3 different warnings over the last, I want to say maybe 18 months, it fell on deaf ears because media is really not covering it. In the meantime, this financial sextortion is escalating and kids are harming themselves due to this sextortion. So let's get into a little bit. The best report that came out, and I'll have it in the body of this video, is presented by the Network Contagion Research Institute, known as NCRI. Let's hear what they have to say, because this really was music to my ears, because when I talk about sextortion, people stare at me or people don't really understand it. We know these are dark, ugly subjects, so you tune out. But you don't tune out if it happens to somebody you know, perhaps your child or your grandchild. So let's all get on the same page. Financial sextortion is the fastest growing crime in America targeting children. Did you hear what I said? We're talking about the United States right now. It has accelerated and surged up to 1,000. This is what we know about, up to 1,000% in the last 18 months. And in December 2023, so let's see, less than a year ago, FBI Director Chris Wray warned Congress that sextortion is a rapidly escalating threat and teenage victims don't know where to turn. And you know what I have to say? I remember that hearing well, and nothing has really been done to target the Yahoo Boys. So let's explain what they do. These cyber criminals are using fake social media accounts. I like to say anti-social media, but we'll leave that for another program, to force their victims. Almost all of them boys, usually between the ages of 14 to 17. This is a well-oiled machine going on against our teenage boys, into sharing explicit photos of themselves. And as soon as the criminal receives the photo, they threaten to expose the photo to victims' friends, family, and followers unless a ransom is paid. And these criminals employ ruthless tactics to intimidate. They constantly badger, bully, all of this stress on their victims. And this is why we have to empower our kids. If they indeed, number one, we should be talking to them about all of this, sextortion. Every school, every church, every synagogue, every community center, every sports team, everything should be talking about sextortion, because did you hear what I said earlier? Fastest growing crime against our children in America, right? Especially our teenage boys. And what happened is they just keep beating at them, these criminals, the Yahoo Boys, and I'm going to explain who they are in a minute, and going. And we have several, we have proof. We have text messages from several of the victims saying these Yahoo Boys, which are basically a West Nigerian gang. I mean, this is organized crime on steroids, right? Targeting, again, I'm going to keep telling you, American teens. Why specifically American teens? Why are our kids so vulnerable? Why are our kids so willing to harm themselves? First of all, you talk to them about sextortion. Second of all, nude photos, okay? I understand from teachers we work with across the country, kids are exchanging, and I date myself here, nude photos like baseball cards, Pokemon cards. So we have to talk to the kids about that. We have to constantly reinforce, once an image is online, it is there forever. Kids will say to me repeatedly, I've deleted the image. I've deleted the conversation. Does not matter. Once it's there, it will be captured somewhere in a cloud. Retweet it, something. You are not safe. No nude images. But should a child or a teen do this? And that goes into a whole nother program about vulnerabilities of our American kids. Why are they doing this? Why are they so willing to exchange a nude image with a stranger, usually perceived to be a peer of theirs? For example, a 15-year-old boy thinks he's talking to a 14 or 15-year-old cute girl, and very quickly they fall into some sort of conversation because they're so vulnerable for attention and love and connecting that they will exchange these images. And usually the 14-year-old girl, as the example, is, some 40-year-old West Nigerian guy, a Yahoo boy, working in this organized crime ring that is doing very, very well. Once they get a photo, and what's interesting to me is most kids will say, we weren't comfortable with it, or we didn't think it was right, we did it anyway. So we really have to get at them. You just don't do it, right? They will go on. They will start with sometimes, okay, give me $5,000. Will be a chain of text messages. Or I'm revealing everything to. I know now all of your peers at school. I've taken screenshots of your friends. You've revealed information to me. I will tell your parents, your grandparents. I will tell your baseball coach. We have to empower our kids. They start with example. Because I just went through a series of them, starting with $5,000. Give me $5,000 and I'll take the image down. You better give it to me. Now, what teen has $5,000 available to them? Number one, basically none of them. Number two, why are our kids panicking so much? Even if they did send that nude photo, these criminals, these sextortionists will then proceed to say, you better not block me, unfriend me, or it's going to be really bad for you. We need to encourage, empower, and educate our children. If anything like this happens, there is no embarrassment. This is the world we live in, whether we like it or not. It's not changing. Obviously, intervention, education about all of this sextortion, about the Yahoo Boys out of West Nigeria, an organized crime ring targeting our American kids. You don't hear about them targeting kids in China, targeting kids in the UK, right? It's Americans. This is how vulnerable we are. That's why it's up to us as the adults to be the educators, to take charge here. Let your kids come to you no matter what and tell them it's okay. We will take care of this. You never delete photos. You have to, as the adult. You have to 911, have a record, have a paper trail. Obviously, contact the social media, as I put in, quotations. Cite immediately, and then proceed from there. Cybertipline.org. I'm going to have all the information in the body of this video. You need to keep it at your fingertips. Put it in a safe space in case something happens. We don't want you panicked, and then you do nothing. The worst thing that a lot of people do is erase the image, don't talk about it, yell at their child, and they think it goes away. The child is traumatized. But let me get back to what they do. They may start with 5,000. I just saw a whole link of this. They went down to 2,000. They went down to 500. They went down to 200. They went down to $50. Now, right then and there, with this bullying, our kids are tougher and stronger in that. We are Americans. We will not allow our boys to be bullied. And especially we need to bring men to the table to talk to our boys. In addition, we're not seeing enough of that. The men have to be educated. So if you're a mom or a grandma and there's a husband, a dad, a grandpa, get them involved. We need to educate everybody. But I want to really drive home about these Yahoo Boys. How dare they? How dare they abuse our American teenage boys? So what they do, they create this tremendous trauma and stress on the boys. And the boys, and this is a family show, and there are algorithms on YouTube, so I will say, and I think you can figure it out, they harm themselves and worse. We cannot have that over some West Nigerian criminal sitting behind a keyboard. They're set up in these warehouses and they're all behind keyboards. They all have the same scripts. We have seen repeated victims, the scripts that are sent to them. It's done through TikTok, it's done through Snap, it's done through YouTube. Those are the three main platforms the Yahoo Boys are finding the kids on, and they are looking into everything. They're going to high school sites, right? And they're hacking them and getting the names of all the kids in high schools across America. How is this happening? Because we know there's technology to stop it. We work and talk to tech experts. So why aren't they taking it down? We don't need Christopher Wray from the FBI, Congress, telling us how bad it is. We know this. Help us, help our families and children. But let's go. The report reveals that virtually all of the financial sextortion targeting minors today is directly linked to a distributed West African cybercriminal group called the Yahoo Boys. Additionally, this report unveils previously unreported views into the social media platforms where these criminals share their sextortion scripts, tools, and methods, which has allowed this horrible escalating number one crime against our teenage boys and kids in America to proliferate at an exponential rate. Now, what I want to say about this, so now we have on TikTok, we've got these how-to create your own sextortion that people are now jumping on board because because the question I get a lot is, why is this happening? I'm sorry, anywhere there is the ability to make a dollar, that's where people are. It's about money. But also, most recently, in November 2023, Olamide Odosunshanu, a Nigerian national, was indicted. Now, this is good news because we don't hear about a lot of indictments for sextortion, along with 4 co-conspirators in the largest known financial sextortion operation to date. The indictment alleges that Shanu's criminal enterprise received upwards of $2.5 million in Bitcoin. We have so much of the sextortion, sex trafficking, all of the sexual exploitation. It's all being done. Cyber criminals, cyber crimes, and places like Bitcoin. That's what they're using. So I want to put this whole report with the key takeaways, like why is this the most rapidly growing crime targeting kids in the United States, and also followed by Canada and Australia, and why? How is this West Nigerian group, the Yahoo Boys, allowed to get away with this, targeting primarily English-speaking minors and young adults, in their young 20s, Instagram, Snapchat, and Wiz, W-I-Z-Z. Do you even know what Wiz is? Look it up. The tenfold increase of sextortion cases in the past about 18 months is a direct result of the Yahoo Boys distributing sextortion, listen up and listen good, sextortion instructional videos and scripts on TikTok, YouTube, and Scribd. Do you even know what that is? SCRIBD, enabling and encouraging other criminals to engage in financial sextortion. And the sextortion criminals are bombing. We call it bombing high schools, youth sports teams, universities with fake accounts using very advanced social engineering tactics to coerce their victims into compromising situations. And lots of generative artificial intelligence apps, this is a good one, are already being used to target minors in a fraction of sextortion at scale operations. This is only going to get worse. We are here to warn you. You must become a warrior. You must sit down and talk to your kids. We must get everybody on board for this one, especially with the artificial intelligence happening, leaking through, because you're going to wake up and I'm going to wake up someday soon, maybe tomorrow. And this will have exploded all in our own backyards, right in front of our own noses, and we will not be prepared. Please honor our hashtag Community Creates Change. Please share this information. Again, I will have the report and more information in the body of this video. Please always follow our website, lynswarriors.org. Thank you to all of you for you're supporting us. You're sending donations. We are doing a community event here in New York on November 2nd. We've received lots of wonderful donations, diapers, blankets, socks, gloves, hats, all kinds of stuff for kids and vulnerable adults. And we just adore you for following along. If I have to leave you with one thing, this is an American crisis. This is something you are not hearing about in the news, pretty much even online where we hear about a lot of things. This is it. Get on board. Join us. Remember, each and every day, well, first let me say thank you again. but each and every day. It's up to you. It's up to me. It's 2024. We must and can all do something. Protect our children. There is a war on for our children and young adults. Wake up each and every day and go out and be a warrior.